Welcome back. Last time we beat up a wizard, and today we're going to probably try to beat up another wizard. I'm looking over my deck, and I'm trying to see if perhaps I should dump some things to make room for more stuff. I mean, look at how much mana we have in this deck. We have 26 lands. We have 2 Black Lotuses, we have 3 Mox Jets, and we have 2 fucking Jet Medallions. What do I need with all this shit? I don't! So I'm going to actually yank 2 Swamps here. And I'm going to put in another one of those guys, and I'm going to... do I want to put Mercenary in there? Dothy Horror? I mean, Dothy Mercenary at least is like, hey, I can spend mana on that. So it has a use. I would... Oh yeah, Nocturnal Raid. There we go. I picked that up last time because I was like, yeah, hey, something to buff the entire board? That seems kind of good. And then I was never asked to actually use it. Oh yeah, this guy's become a core rogue minion as of the creature type update. So one of a relatively small number of creatures that have more than 2 creature types, rather. So that's interesting. Anyway, I'm feeling like I can get to another... Jeez. Let's take a shot on this one. I think I've got a fair chance here. Yeah, plus I have this Timberwolves that I started with, which isn't really doing much for me, but hey, I'll take it anyway. First of all, let's eat this Scavenger Folk before it can kill my Mox Jet. Which is like green sinkhole at that point. Eesh. Ooh, there's a mindless automaton. That is real cool. And so I'm going to force you to do something with that. That's good enough for me, actually, because it's off the board. No, I don't want to band. Banding. Jeez, man. Ah, goody. He brought it back. Well, fair enough. We don't really even have to use the Timberwolves to go for damage. I'll block anyway, even though there's no real point in doing this. Just, why not? Buddy. Is that really the best use of your time? No, don't activate the Black Lotus, you stupid game. Don't be that stupid, come on. Anyway, we kick this guy in the somewhere, and we get his cards. And we get another Winds of Wrath. We've been getting a ton of those as we go, which I'm okay with. Oh wow, Spirit Link and Howl from Beyond is a combo, supposedly. Oh god, my game audio isn't on. There we go, I fixed it. And pull this up. Have I ever done MTG Forge Adventure? I have not. I didn't even know that was a thing until very, very recently. When I heard the name because of somebody discussing this idea that they're trying to build like a 30th anniversary edition of Shandalar or something, which I guess would be like more of a modern port in modern computer programming languages. I don't know the full details of that either, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's more information than one person probably requires, but hey, I am nothing if not an oversharer, I suppose. Ooh, I have options. I'm going to play the Dothy Slayer because I don't expect the blue fish player to have removal of that sort, but just in case. And I'll play Warlord and Marauder. And as usual, the thing that I've said before, typically you would prefer to play all of your stuff on your actual second main phase, including your land, unless you really need it. And yet I do that anyway, so. Ooh, we've got a very bad Prodigal Sorcerer that was made for Portal, and Hesitation, which is standstill, but not as good. Take the dungeon clue. Oh, hey, that place is literally right next to us. That's incredible. Go east to Wildfire Keep, and we get some free health. Thieves Hideout. Yo, they gave us some money. Hell yeah. Didn't have to do anything for that. Now, Mind Stealers are usually pretty good to fight because they tend to give you the ability to get doubles of your cards. And while I don't know that I need more doubles of anything, why not take them when the chance arises, right? And we'll play our Dothy Slayer, followed by Bad Moon, to get our buff a little bit sooner. Ooh, actually, that might have been not the good choice, shockingly. On the other hand, Abyssal Spectre makes us pick a card to discard, so... yeah, actually, I'm going to pitch Nocturnal Raid. Raid! Because, I mean, Coat of Arms is just stronger in this case. There's no reason for me to go for the bigger number, but why not? Right? All right, tell me about the Argivian dig site. Well, it didn't tell us where it was. That's a pity, but what can you do, right? We obtain Desertion. Desertion is a pretty cool card, if I recall correctly. Let me go take a look at that one again. Is this the card that I think it... Yeah, if an artifact or creature spell is countered this way, put that card onto the battlefield under your control instead of into its owner's graveyard. Yeah, this is a card. This one was worth a... I don't need that in the deck. That's just going to cause me problems. That was worth a pretty good chunk of money for a while, if I recall correctly. Just by virtue, really, of the fact that it's... It was widely played in Commander. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take a look at some stuff and not really want to pick anything up, but hey, it's always kind of fun to just dig through big piles of old crap and see some interesting things in there. That's some image. Ugh. Deals damage to a creature, deals 3 damage to that creature's controller, and 3 damage to you. Huh. Interesting. Dothy Jackal. This is kind of just below rate, really. This is a bad card because we very rarely get blocked. Because that's kind of the point. This might be useful on some level, but I don't know for sure. Dothy Trapper is not really very powerful for our deck. If we were going to pick anything up here, I think we would probably pick up another Ghoul. But for now, we're going to keep looking around, just out of curiosity. Dread Reaper. This is a card that I am, like, strangely surprised never came back at any point. Here's King's Assassin, which is a really bad Royal Assassin. Because you, again, it has the restriction that things have in Portal. So it's kind of just like, well, all right, it can remove things, but you can't use it in a responsive way. So, Lord of the Pit. This would not have been in the card pool at the time because... wait, would it have? I think they didn't print Lord of the Pit in 5th edition. Fuck, I actually did a whole thing about this like months ago, and now I don't remember. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, I don't like thinking about that fact. Night of Dusk, that is not the one I was thinking it was. That's something else. Harbinger of Night. This is... if I recall correctly, I was looking at cards from this era recently, and this one is, like, really valuable. Which, I mean, it's all right, but it's not the most amazing thing. Now, back before I went all in on my shadow creatures, I was thinking about using Mirage of Urborg. But I ended up deciding against that. Still probably pretty interesting, but also 5 mana buy-in? That does put a bit of a damper on any of my feelings about it. Shadow Rider, this is the one that I was thinking of. So, Shadow Rider has been noted at some point as being probably what the Dothy originally were before they got sucked into the Shadow Realm, just in lore. And it has never gotten the creature type because of various reasons. At one point, Shadow Rider was a zombie knight, and then they took away the zombie creature type because they were like, that's not correct. And yet they won't go all the way for some reason. I don't know. Shaku's Mini. Oh, yeah, that's a 2-color one, right? Stronghold Cabal. That is, well, from an era when they were leaning very heavily on the enemy color thing, which, to be fair, they basically still were even in Tempest, but Ice Age, even more so. Is there any creature in Magic with no subtypes? Yes. Yes, there is. I believe it's still only one, but there is a creature from the Dark called Nameless Race, which, as of right now, does not have a subtype. In the time it was printed under the card type Summon Nameless Race, because they didn't have a way of creating a card that didn't have a creature type back when it was the Summon type, just because of how that was handled. But nowadays, it's just its entire type line, if they were to reprint it, which it might be on the reserve list because the reserved list is full of a bunch of weird shit and also a lot of very good cards that you would want back in print, or perhaps would not want back in print, depending on who you are. If you're the sort of person who looks over at, like, Bloom and Prosperous, pardon me, I mangled that horribly. If you look over at, like, Squandered Resources and the Prosperous Bloom combo and you're like, I never want to see that again, maybe you'd be a little bit happy that a lot of that shit is on the reserved list. But yes, if they were to reprint Nameless Race now, its type line would literally just say creature. And that's why, even though the card is a complete unplayable piece of garbage, I kind of wish they would anyway, just by virtue of, like, the funny factor, right? In fact, I am going to look on my phone right now, and I'm going to see if that's a reserved list thing or not. And obviously, regardless of whether or not it is, you all know my feelings about the reserved list and the way that it hinders the game in various ways, especially as it proceeds forward. I mean, hell, with the way WotC loves to try to angle specifically at whales, I'm surprised they haven't tried to do something. What was it? Yeah, nameless. Which, you know, for all I know, they could be a little bit upset about the prospect of getting into a lawsuit. Yeah, it is on the reserved list. Nameless Race, though, is pretty bad. It's a 4-mana black creature, 3 and a black. And of course, this was from the dark, so you already are teed up to be like, oh, this thing is dog shit. But wait a minute. It has trample, and as this creature enters, pay any amount of life. The amount you pay can't be more than the total number of white non-token permanents your opponents control, plus the total number of white cards in their graveyards. So, you know, this is no Phyrexian processor token. Nameless Race's power and toughness are each equal to the life paid as it entered. So, yeah, not a good card for a variety of reasons, but very interesting little statistical anomaly in the world of Magic. But also, man, that fucking reserved list, huh? 1 red amulet, I will reveal the deck of any white creature. Nah, I'm good. It's one Vuli Village. South Sky Shard Keep. Get a mana link. Hey, I'll take more of a life total. At this point, I'm just sort of over here padding that number out because it could be helpful. I'll pay the gold rather than risk a Black Lotus because that is a little bit hard to replace. Meanwhile, this guy I will gladly go up against. He is playing a white-black deck, so I might want to pump the brakes on dropping a Bad Moon as early as possible, but who can say how this will go? Just deal with that thing immediately. And yeah, buddy, go ahead and play those Bottle Gnomes. That is less of a concern for me. Man, just keeps playing those. I'm going to drop a Dothy Ghoul anyway, and let it get buff. Now, unfortunately, I am also going to have to deal with the fact that I can't just Diabolic Edict right now, because otherwise he will sack the Bottle Gnomes, probably. Oh, man. Ah, dang it. This guy's just not interested in letting me have fun. Yeah, see, he cracked his gnomes, and that didn't do very much for me. He cracked his gnomes. That's definitely a phrase. Yeah, so what did we lose for the... Right, just a Dothy Horror. I actually have an extra one of those, so that's fine. I'm not the happiest about it, but... if I had to lose a card, at least it's one that I have 2 spares of. So ultimately, no sweat off my back, or whatever the phrase actually is. Ooh, a Funeral Charm. That is great. It's a fantastic card, actually. I want to hold on to that for now. Hall of the Sultan. An Akujin guarding an MSI tome and a diminishing returns. I mean, you call those valuable spells, but that seems like a bit of a stretch. However, I will take it anyway. What's my hand look like? That guy can stay on top of the deck. I just forget where I have to click anytime in order to actually advance things. Well, you know something, dude? That's fine. Keep doing stuff that'll hurt yourself. Yeah, keep using those cities of brass. And slowly burn yourself down, and oh. Oh boy, that's a lot of draw, actually. So let's go ahead and murder those birds and swing in for our 1 point of free damage here, because our hand is admittedly not doing as much for me as I'd like it to, and oh, living death. Hold up. Target attacking creature without flying. Darn. Well, he wiped the board. Okay. Well, shit happens and then shit happens some more, I guess. He regrowths his wall of roots. Fair enough. He's down to 3 life. Get mana. And Broken Visage. Just kill that thing. I mean, oh boy, the Broken Visage token doesn't do anything for me. Whatever. Cast Spiritual Guardian. I probably should have responded to that with Diabolic Edict in order to force him to sack what I was basically going to force him to sack anyway. Oh, he's got a lot of these creatures, doesn't he? He's got a Staunch Defenders now, too. Man, I didn't draw any mana this game. On the other hand, I think I might have this, barring some incredibly bad luck. Let's go ahead and eat one of his creatures anyway, because I feel like being rude about it. Hey, cool, we got the treasure. Fantastic. So what's the quest here at Matenda Village? Go to Rootwater Tower. They will reward us with a green amulet. I mean, that's just free money. So, why not? Why not indeed? Save and enter the Keldan weaponry. Greed is in effect. So, we're up against small black creatures, and this time they are actually small. These are like 10 or less life each. Also interesting that we get to fight against mono black decks again. So there's a very real possibility. Oh my god, why are you doing this to me, game? It loves to just throw the wrong deck at me constantly, so it does this for a lot of the dungeons. I don't know what the deal is, but it's a deal, all right. See Fallen Ascari in there. Yeah, the Undead Knight plays a lot of low-budget mono-black critters, as you can tell. Oh my god, where are any of my cards? I need to be able to, like, have a creature in play. Otherwise, I'm going to die. He's not stupid enough to actually kill himself with greed. Fuck. What happened? Why? I don't understand that. Is there something about how these places work that I'm missing in the information? The answer is very probably, but even aside from that, which has flying, well, that is the air elemental right there at the top of the list. I don't even have to bother thinking about that. And we've got this going on again, so once again, what is the deal? What's the deal? Oh, he's got Shallow Grave. Ooh. Ooh, Shallow Grave deck. I don't like the Shallow Grave deck. Is there like a minimum deck size and that's what it's doing, is that it's... No, because my entire library is just replaced. Apparently, that is way smaller than our actual deck size. I'm going to withdraw from here, and then I'm going to go look at my information charts here. No, I guess dungeon clues. No black cards. Oh, okay. I gotcha. That's it. I'm not allowed to use black cards, period. Okay. So, I think maybe we will skip that place for now. And my thing will not read my input as being so... it will read it as being higher than I'm aiming for, basically. And not turn me down. Well, not in the way that I'm aiming to be turned down anyway. So we'll play our Dothy Ghoul. I'm playing that one first because, just in case this dude starts pulling some removal out of his somewheres, it would be good to have the ability to get those pumped. Hey. There we go. It's probably not necessary to put Cursed Flesh on the Devoted Hero, but I just kind of felt like it. And then ultimately it really didn't do anything for me, but hey. Yeah, cutting it a little close here by drawing a cursed land at an unfortunate time. Well, let's take that, and off we go. Travel north to Unyaro Mill. Well, we do have Sakata Shrine over there to go and rescue. We should go try to do that. Yeah, that passage of water is a little bit wide for us to walk across like that. So let's pay the money. Oh, wow, you are making me put one hell of an ante here. Well, let's go for it anyway, because we're gonna have to put up with it in order to be able to actually take this place. And you've got a Desert Drake in play. That is one of those kind of just junk creatures that I've always liked out of the Portal stuff. Yeah, sure, it's pretty overcosted. It's a 4-drop that's just a 2/2 flyer, but I don't know, I just always liked it. And I can't exactly explain why. Anyway, we have a win here, because we didn't have to do much there. Dual Mind Stealer. Okay, what are you going to... Well, I didn't get to see if You had a... You do not have my deck. Okay. That's helpful, in fact. Here, discard a card. He discards Dark Ritual. Probably didn't have much to play with Dark Ritual. Hey, Duststar, how's it going? Hope you're having yourself a pretty good evening. Glad to hear it. Ooh, Millstone. Ah, he's gonna make some coffee at us, I see. But I'm not too concerned about that because yeah, our shadow creatures are really good, actually. I can't imagine this having been meta at the time, but it seems to be working for us. And that is kind of the important part. Okay, we got some cards here to have a quick browse through, because I don't remember what half of these are, but I don't think most of them are very good. Order of the White Shield, right. This is Order of Lightbur, which is the one that we usually saw in the other mod. That would be good if we were going to play white, which we're not. Kukemsa Serpent is not the fading creature that I thought it was. It is an island home creature that can at least force opponents' lands to become islands at the cost of sacrificing your own lands. I still don't think I would take that under most circumstances. Sorry. Black Knight is Black Knight. Knight Errant is a Grizzly Bears. And Spinderstrike is a 1-drop 2/1 flyer that has an upkeep cost of 1 blue. I mean, that's all right. Yeah, sure. Let's take the Haggler's coin so we can take a look at more cards at every location. And be like, oh, yeah, those aren't... Ah, man. If you could get rid of the Slayer, I guess, for 1 swamp. That still probably wouldn't be very good, because I wouldn't have enough mana to get Jet Medallion out. That's at least a set of things I can play. Excellent. Drop the Warlord, and he's gonna start making a bunch of mana and a Spike Breeder. I'm not concerned about the Spike Breeder because he's tapped out, so I can get rid of it immediately. And he animates dead on it. Well, that's a bit more of a pain in the ass. So I can't just eliminate it again, but oh well. On the other hand, it is kind of interesting to use Animate Dead on those, because you do still always get all the power back, ultimately, because you just split them into more tokens. And he plays the Colony. Nocturnal Rage should give me a win here. Does it say, barring him pulling a bunch of life gain out of nowhere? Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on. Oh, goodness. We're slowly being hemmed in by guys who are decently strong, so... that is not exactly my favorite state of affairs. Oh well, I suppose. Here, just for the extra spite. Ah, yes, a creature with 2 forms of evasion. Usually probably doesn't need it, but to be fair, why not, right? Take that, and we'll take our green amulet, and almost run right into that sedge piece. Which of these is the... Amber Prison, I think, is the white castle. That's where I want to go next, I believe. Because that will allow me to deal with the fact that there's a couple of guys around here that just really suck to get into fights with. Very specifically, one of the enemy types that I like the least is the Lord of Fate. And I did keep the 1 land hand, which is a little bit foolish, but hey. We're getting away with it now. That's why I keep these jet medallions in this deck, even with it having a curve that tops out at 4. Oh, I did want to play Bad Moon this turn, though. But he might bring out a big, hasty guy, so... Swing for 3, and use Stupor to try and reduce some of the things that you can do. And we got a land destruction spell in the process. That is great. We'll curse that 1 land, and that should help us in case our board starts getting blown up. Oh, I see he's mostly going for our lands, which, I mean, is to be expected. This is the land destruction deck, but that was more in case of, like, Pyroclasm or something. All right. Let's take the dungeon clue. Life losses carried over, and greed permanently in effect. Good to know. Kind of the norm, really. And this guy basically just came out from right behind that village. Oh no, we want that Dothy Ghoul on our on top of the deck. Because, yeah, being able to play multiple of those, probably pretty good. Probably. Unfortunately, the Marauder was a 3-drop, so there's no way for me to play all 3 of these creatures in 1 turn, but... that's alright. Gives me a fair reason to play the Quicksand. Dream Prowler. Can't be blocked as long as it's attacking alone. As a 1/5, which, yeah, I mean, that's blue creatures, especially back then. Good stats, not a chance. Let's take our win. Let's take those. I do like Cicada Firewalker, and would probably like it a lot more if I was playing those colors, but... as it stands... ooh, hey. More dungeon hints for the place that I'm probably not going to go. Shadow Rift. That is a great card in blue. Or it would probably be a lot better if it was an era where creatures didn't suck, but, you know. What a tower. Okay. Got you now. I had completely forgotten about that quest. Just in the middle of all the other stuff going on. Scout Stupor, and no land destruction cards removed, but okay. At least we've significantly reduced his abilities. Unfortunately, we did immediately lose our creature before we were able to play our ghoul, so that's a little bit sadder, but oh well. This guy is playing nothing, so that's great. That makes my life easier on some level. Oh, hey, free island. I don't really need more of those, but hey. I'm gonna save now that we've done that, because now today I'm in a very much like save a bunch kind of mode. I'll play that in case I need it. I should not, and yeah, this dude is having issues, I see. Someone kept a 0 lander, huh? Eesh. Yeah, play that. Play that. And that as well. Oh, hey, he finally got a card on the board. The computer in this game can make some very strange decisions. But I see he does have effects to neutralize my cursed lands, so... cool, I think. Oh, heck yeah, he played one of those. That is good for us, because we can buff our ghoul. Which is totally unnecessary here, but hey. We got to do stuff. Meanwhile, this guy didn't take lands in his hand, so we just kind of bullied him pretty severely. Okay, what can we find here in the Portal to Arabia? I mean, I see we are facing against black decks, so... again, that kind of fits with the fact that we have Greed as the dungeon effect, though. They don't seem to enjoy just obliterating themselves with that quite as much as back when I first played a version of this mod, and they had Unfulfilled Desires as a deck effect, as a dungeon effect, rather. And you would get, like, everybody in any of these dungeons, if that was the thing that they ended up with, they would just annihilate themselves with that. Anyway, which of these has first strike is Knight of Stromgald, I think? No, it's Banalish Knight. Okay. Well, there's a big reptile there in the way, so I think we're not going that direction. Not until we exhaust all our other options anyway. Yeah, sure, let's explode our Black Lotus right off to get a creature on the board. As I get incredibly mana flooded. Oh, this is too much, actually. But, alright. And he's playing a Warlord. He doesn't quite have a clone of our deck, I don't think, but... he's definitely playing to the same archetype, you know? Oh, that Grave Pact art. It's very goofy. I love it. You're doing some interesting stuff here, I see. And he activates Greed in order to do that. He's playing 2 zombie masters, huh? Alright. Let's kill that thing. I guess I have to sacrifice to... I mean, truth be told, I could probably just sacrifice the Broken Visage token, but... Hey. Yeah, you go ahead and do that. That's fine. I'll play Cursed Land. Oh, wait, my Dothy Ghoul has Swamp Walk. What am I thinking? I'm forgetting that it counts as a zombie. And I also just did not see that dude at all. That's amazing. Stealth Warlock. Hmm. You got... Wow, you've got a swamp in your hand? Amazing. Play that. And... Ghoul. And... we are off to... not exactly the fastest start anybody's ever seen, I'll say that much, but... really, what else is new? So he plays one of those. And I will enfeeble his Warlord. Hey. There we go. Okay, he just spent 2 cards to do that. I mean, hey. If you think it'll help you, go right ahead. But incredibly strange choice. Costs 2 black and 3 colorless mana. Is not that, or that, or that. It is Soul Shred. I couldn't tell you that offhand, because I haven't memorized the cost of all those cards, but that seems about right for deal damage and gain life effects. If they're more than 2. Okay. Do that. And he is starting up with Sarcomancy, because ultimately his deck is more about zombies than anything, but he does have a large amount of shadow effects involved there too. Not to be confused with Shadow the Hedgehog or anything, that would be a little bit unusual. Well, not so much anymore, but in this era, yes. Play this anyway, even though I don't need it, because he's going to time out. And we found Necropotence. Nice. That is a very fun card. But I don't necessarily know that I require it at this point. I will decide later. But it does give quite a lot of card advantage, and our life total is decently high, so... play a bunch of these. And take a look at one card in her hand, which revealed a basic land. Wow. Wow, incredible. Yeah, so we're waiting one extra turn just to be able to make sure we can play all of our stuff, but hey. I'll deal with that. Aspect of Wolf. I hate that card so much. What a very annoying creature buff. Every time I see it, it is just kind of the most frustrating out of any of them that I've ever seen. Oh, hey, Brushwag. Look at this incredibly silly thing. And then it just sort of became the meme creature type for a very long time. To Matenda Hall, which is down that way. Where did you come from, Troll Shaman? Oh, well, whatever. We had a Helm of Awakening to start with, which is kind of ridiculous, actually, but hey. This guy doesn't want to play real cards, then that's fine. That's a huge boost to us. Ooh, Cursed Totem. I haven't seen that in a minute. That's a pretty good card. That got reprinted in the last few years, I believe. Oh, it doesn't tell me what I didn't get anything out of that. It's just like, oh, you're a skillful wizard. Thank you, I guess. Nice. Travel west to Teferi's Tower. It's over there, but that's not really where I'm interested in going right now. I honestly want to be away from that guy, among other things. Those. Yeah, that quest doesn't feel worth it, to be totally honest with you. Where are we compared to... Yeah, this is where we're going, I believe, the Amber Prison. Because I want to go deal with the White Wizard next. Which I believe Zeralon is the White Wizard. Zeralon is the red one, isn't he? Yeah, because the white guy would be Rashida Scalebane, I think. If I'm remembering this correctly, which I may very well not be, so either way. Is that Tabi Shrine? Yeah, that's quite far away, but not Rashida. Is it Mangara? I've already kind of forgotten. I know that we've seen before, and that looked like Mangara, but I kind of did not remember it being Mangara for some reason. Femorph Glade is southeast of here by a fair chunk. That'll be fine, though. Alright, crack this open and start off with a couple of these guys. Okay, I was double checking that Nocturnal Raid wasn't instant. I thought it was, but I could also have been horribly wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Yeah, go for that. And take our free money. You get extra gold. And it's in all caps, so you gotta make a slightly silly voice about it. There's some more food. Enchantments here. I have 3 bad moons already? Wow. Well, I'm not going to say no to a 4th. Oh, I see the issue. It's that we only had 2 in the deck. Well, at this rate, I don't know that I need this many swamps. Stockpile those. To target a Mind Stealer for more enchantments. Sure. Although I do kind of realize that I don't know what else I would actually get at this point. Oh, they took half my money, but they left me with a Leviathan. That seems like a really shitty trade, to be honest with you, but hey. Oh, we dropped 2 lands out of the guy's hand. That is extremely good, actually, just in general. Oh! Oh! Boy! Oh, memory lapse, I dislike you. Mana Leak feels a little bit more acceptable on a certain level that I can't exactly describe, and he's Mana Leaking my other thing. Wow. This guy's hand is just full of counter magic. Yeah, you sure you don't got another one of those in there, motherfucker? Oh, he's got one for that, though. Dang. Okay. No fun allowed. Classic blue mage, right? I guess the only counterspell he packs in the deck is just more, God, what are they? More Mana Leak, yeah. Now let's play this dude. Play another one, and use Funeral Charm to... Hey, I thought I double-clicked that. Come on. I'll take the power loss for obvious reasons, because otherwise he'd just block it with Soltari Foot Soldier anyway, so... You know, a whole lot of good that did me. Would have done me anyway. Hey, good. He keeps sacking his shadow creatures in the face of my warlords that are quickly getting pumped up this much. Well, my guy, if you want to keep doing that, then by all means, just hand me the win. I mean, at this point, why the hell not? We won an Ivory Cup. Yay, that's not going to actually be a card that we use at any point, probably, but hey. Free card. Anyway, yeah, Mangara, which fits with it being the Amber Prison, because that's who was... I think Mangara was one of the guys who was locked in the Amber Prison. Karavek 2, if I recall correctly? I suddenly realize now that I don't remember a lot of my Magic lore. Well, oops. I may have to reread some of that stuff at some point. Oh, fuck no, I can't take that hand. This hand is not amazing, but it's a hand I can play, so that's good enough for me. Or Spectral Guardian does what again? As long as it's untapped, non-creature artifacts have Shroud. Well, okay then, neighborino. Here, discard a couple of cards. And... Oh, right. Whenever an opponent casts a spell that targets you or a creature you control, you may draw a card. Ooh, boy. That is a lot to deal with. Soltari Champion. Yep, and he blocked, thank goodness. Because we can get that thing off the board, because otherwise that would be a huge problem creature for us. We'll play the Slayer. Draw a card. Oh, the Heavy Ballista. I don't think I like that very much, but... maybe he'll just attack with it, and we won't have to worry. Okay, he just attacked with it. Excellent. Now I don't have to think about that shit. And I can play Bad Moon, and I can still die next turn because I did not draw nearly enough stuff, but... oh well. As this guy is just booking it, and he's clearly using the wrong model there. That guy on the overworld was... he was a paladin, I think, or the walking guys. Jesus, man, okay. Play that. Now we'll play the Warlord, who's dropping as a 3/2. Oh, god damn it, he's playing the Soltari Monk. Great. Well... and then he just blocks like that, and I didn't even realize that was, I'm just gonna reset on that one, because that was a really fast-moving dude. And I somehow failed to walk straight into the castle, even though I'm right on top of it. 2 black mana and 1 colorless. That is endless cockroaches. We've even seen that a couple of times in this particular run of things. The endless cockroaches. Toughness of 3. Wall of Spears. Yeah, I knew that one, but I was like, hold on, are there multiple answers here? No, they wouldn't do that. They usually don't anyway. Excuse me. This'll do. We'll just erase this guy's creature. Go ahead and draw a card. That's fine. As he ramps into Afia Grove. Plays a Welkin Hawk. Seems that name. Oh, right. I'll play that. Attack. And enjoy your digging up more cards than you can use. Well, not as fast as all that, but... Hey. Yeah, that works. Then at no point do I have to think about that thing having any semblance of power. Granted, we pretty much had that guy on the ropes anyway, but just to be sure. Toughness of Urborg Mindsucker. I don't know. I'm going to assume it's a 2. Oh, wow. It's a good call on my part. And there's the man himself already. Mangara of Korondor. Let's do it, guy. You're not going to be quite as free of a match as the other fella, but oh well. Ankh of Mishra. Oh, boy. I love seeing that. Curse your one land, because we can use that to tick you down a little bit. I'll take some damage, because that's just kind of how it goes at this point. And we get our Dothy Horror, so... well... So much for me thinking that I had it made already, but... Perhaps if I wait around enough, things will sort themselves out. Perhaps I'll draw into a decent creature. Well, I got one of those. That's something at least. Humility, huh? Well, isn't that lovely? On the other hand, I don't particularly feel I need to play this swamp right now. Peacekeeper. Yeah, but it loses all of its effects because of humility as well, dude. I probably didn't need to do that, but I did it anyway. I'll just go ahead and keep swinging in with my 1/1 as much as I need to. Oh, Cataclysm. Each player chooses from among the permanents they control an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, and then sacrifices the rest. I think I'll actually keep the Mox Jet. Because that has a greater potential to be useful. Because it won't only last for one turn. But also, Ankh of Mishra is no longer in play, so we are free to just play creatures as we do at this point. That's fine. Especially because he didn't play any creatures. Heck yeah. We won. That was pretty easy. We can take any white cards we wish. Unfortunately, I don't know if any of those are actually good. I mean, Tithe is pretty handy. Search your library for a Plains card. If target opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for an additional Plains card, reveal those cards, and put them into your hand. You can do this with non-basic Plains too, which is real nice, actually. Or give you and find. That just returns an artifact or enchantment from your graveyard. Debt of Loyalty. That is an interesting card indeed. Shibari's in... Gar's Blessing. Yeah, Miraculous Recovery. I remember this one. That is... Oh, it's an instant as well. I forgot about that. Well, let's take that. Is land tax in here? Land tax is not in here. That's unfortunate. Kismet, however, is a very nice little piece of control magic, so I will grab that. Oh, that's underwhelming. I didn't remember what that was, so... What I can say here is a big meh to that. Talon Sliver gives first strike. Yeah, that's more or less what I thought. Sliver Queen. I mean, we've pretty much said before that Sliver Queen is not really that great, unfortunately for us. Or for much of anyone else, for that matter. Marble Titan. Oh yeah, creatures with power 3 or greater don't attack. That's like a Meek Stone effect in a creature. I guess we'll take it. Truth be told, I'm not sure how good like most of them are, so we're a little bit dedicated to what we're doing now. We also get to come back here and pick up another enchantment out of our options for black enchantments. Do we have anything fun here? We've got Greed. Oh, hey, yeah, the card that makes the AI kill itself when they have it. I will take an Animate Dead instead. Unfortunately, I don't think I can use Volrath's Dungeons to really just bait the opponent into self-destructing. As funny as that would be... A Muck is not going to be something we play, so that is going to get chucked, I think. Some food. North Cicada Haven is... I mean, yeah, it is north. It's quite a ways north, though. How many of you guys are here? It requires 2 black mana and 0 colorless is Warp Artifact. Well, the blue castle is not too far from here, so we could go take that on, I guess. Guys, I'm kind of busy. I don't really... Would all of you just piss off for a little bit? Oh, I see. Cicada Haven is captured right now, so if I want to deal with that, I could either fight it or I could go take on the blue castle, and we're gonna go for that. The Temporal Anchor, and we've got Reparations again. That is a really tedious enchantment, I think. That's a little bit boring of a result to get for this dungeon design. I mean, okay, yeah, they're the white and blue castles, but they could definitely stand to have something different. Power of 3 is... Oh god, is that... I think that's Brassclaw Orcs. Wow, I can't believe I got that, actually. So I guess the Iron Claws are 2/2, and then Brass Claws are 4 for some reason. Let's keep this hand. Play a bunch of stuff. Drop the Horror, which is not the one I was thinking of, but hey. Play Quicksand. And Mercenary. Got a Monakin over there. That's not going to help you any. At least not for a good long while, champ. Was it Brass Talon Chimera? Oh yeah, I guess Shapeshifter. That completely makes sense for what kind of deck we would be expecting to see here. Yeah, go ahead and draw for that. That's fine. This fight is already over. Starting us off with a creature basically at all is pretty strong, so... These dice giving us quite a bit. Black Lotus start. That's pretty good as long as we actually draw a card. I mean, provided we have playmakers, that will do some serious work for us. Because I think, honestly, that the most expensive card in our deck costs 5, right? Let's do this, and... Yeah, alright. Any time walks. Doing just blue mage things. Time Vault, huh? Oh, what a card that is. Dothy Slayer. Let's go look at one random card from this guy's hand. Got a Power Sink. He doesn't have blue mana to cast that with, though, so... Yeah, go ahead and draw. That's fine. Discard a Mana Ward, discard a Power Sink. And just pass turn. Ooh, Mana Vault. You got all the vaults going on here, buddy. Skips a turn to untap. Alright. Play that, and he's taking an extra turn. And that's a little bit to be expected, really. Oh, wow. Right, because he's got Mana Vault, so of course he can turn Stalking Stones into a land already. A creature, rather. Yeah, we'll just take 6. That's fine. Extra 6. Yeah. That's not enough yet, but thankfully we do have a good chunk of... Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Alright, cast Broken Visage to kill that thing. And I guess we will just go ahead and do that as well. Yeah, block his Chronotog. And see, ultimately, it kind of worked out okay. Not the best, because I can't just Nocturnal Raid and end the battle this turn. But this is fine. Because I've got a win right there. And now we get to pick up some blue cards. The Philomerid here. I do not remember this thing whatsoever. Can't be blocked by blue creatures. Target creature becomes blue until end of turn. Now, if only it wasn't a 1/3, that might be useful. Emberwild Caliph. This is a card that has been power crept pretty seriously in the intervening years. But at the time, it was pretty good as an attacker. Of course, this is an era where good creatures basically didn't exist, so... You know, what do you want me to say? It's a Matre. Oh, the game sound just cut out there. It's weird. Ovenomancer. This is a card that is quite fun. It definitely costs way too much to activate its effect, unfortunately, but still... Just turn a creature into a sheep. Just hit him with the old Wololo. Wait, no, that was a different thing. Sorry. Winged Sliver. We're not going to get to use that, but we'll take it anyway. Oh, Mind Over Matter. Unfortunately, there's not really enough good targets to use with that, but we'll take it anyway, because I like it. I'll take a Time Warp. I mean, Time Walk is out there and it's much better, but if we were going to be building that deck, Time Warp would be nice to supplement those with. Unfortunately, we're kind of forced into this battle, but hey, what can you do? Can be slightly upset about it, I guess. Winter Orb. Ew. Ew. Kill off your creature. In that case. Man, I really hate Winter Orb. An extremely aggressively annoying card. Play that. And now we should be able to start walking back the fact that we are a little bit behind on damage, to put it nicely. Also, yeah, here we are not drawing, like, any of our mana artifacts in this round. Because that would be how this would go, huh? Hazel discard the Coat of Arms, because that's definitely not play at any point. Does a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch of stuff. Play that. Drop that in, and off we go. I just wanted to get over to the object over there. Eat a druid for 1 white amulet. I mean, we could do that, but doesn't seem terribly useful. I'm not interested in knowing what I have to deal with in any of these decks. Okay, so red and green castles are right over there. And that is the last of what we're dealing with in this campaign. We could actually be done tonight. Especially if we continue to get really good draws for any of these. In fact, I'm just gonna go bum rush these things and see if we can indeed basically just clear this tonight. No need. We'll take your patchwork gnomes, I guess, because why not? And as we loop to near the end of this, I guess that would mean that I would have to pick something new to do next week in this time slot. I might look at that NTG Forge Adventure thing that Roundy mentioned at the top of the stream. Ooh, free money. And I mean, I had to make no effort for that. Ah, heck, I clicked one space over too many. Well, if we end up goofing and we have to just get a new reload, then whatever, it happens. However, this Mana Flare is going to ultimately probably make my life a little bit easier. Especially provided I can actually draw cards. That would be the problem. Anyway, he's got a Kookus in play. A Kookus. A Kookus. Alright? That's what the goblins named the big red djinn, is a Kookus. Classic goblins. Yeah, and he's swinging in for a decent-sized buff there. On the other hand, he dies of getting set on fire by his own mediocre creature. So, good work, champ. You really showed us. Jet Medallion is probably better than Mox Jet in this case. Unfortunately, that's no creature to start with. Still, which is the thing I would prefer by a wide margin, would be having a creature to start with, but hey. Let's just go straight for the boss. This boss, I believe, is Zeralam the Claw, right? If I recall correctly. Yeah. And starting with a Desert Drake and having a little bit more HP than the others because we didn't kill that many of the red fellows. Ooh. Well, damn. Here, let's just eat this thing real quick because why not, right? I'll spend huge amounts of my entire hand to do that. Why not? I mean, so long as this is an entire game of both of us going back and forth and achieving nothing. Well, actually, My opponent is achieving a lot more than I am, that's for sure. So let's dump the Spitting Drake, because that one is probably the bigger problem. I mean, truth be told, the Atog could also be a bit of an issue. But what's going to cause more problems is my complete and utter lack of draws. Yeah, see, that's why I really wanted to start with a creature, but I guess I should have actually tried to fight through one of the random fellows over there. In that case, just taking my chances in order to at least have an attempt at getting a creature. Flying would unsurprisingly be the Tempest Drake. Yeah, that wasn't a very hard quiz. That's one you could just intuit on your own. No brain cells required there. Gothy Horror. Requires 1 green and 2 colorless. Is Nature's Cloak, I believe, because all the others are double green. Yeah. Oh, shit. Let's go fight the troll guy, the Sedge Beast, I think he is. But as he's based on the Sedge Troll card from the early sets, you can also tell by the fact that he's using a red-black combination, which is their bread and butter. Ah, rip. How unfortunate. Play that guy and just attack. Play this and then Nocturnal Raid. For 10 damage. Yeah, that card is an absolute bomb. Well, we've got nothing, so we're in an even worse position than last time against this battle. Let's see how it goes. I just kind of hope for comparatively few creatures getting burned alive. I'll start off by casting Bad Moon, I guess, and then I'll take a few damage in the face. That's alright. So just let me set up to have more creatures. 14. That'd be 16. I think I have this probably, but yeah, I mean, especially when things like that happen. So here, have another cursed land just for fun. Yep. A pretty easy fight once we actually manage to filter to the good RNG. Yes, I'm sure that that is a really good strategy and everybody loves it. And everybody clapped, right? That's what it used to be on some corners of the internet. We'll take a Sheevan Dragon because it almost feels like necessary on some, you know, just because it's so iconic, not because it's a good card. We'll grab that. And, realistically, at this point, anything else is fine almost. You know what? Rain Assault. Why not? And where are we? Emerald Sanctum is not very far away. Where I will be able to approach unimpeded to go and fight the final boss of this. I should have just ran for it, honestly, but hey, a Horn of Greed is neat. I love getting to keep the funniest no-land hand. Right, we will equip that Vect Townships. Pardon me. No, Vectus is a word from a different magic plane. That is in reference to cards from Alara. So, whoopsie. But this is still a completely free battle. Thanks, Guy. And thanks, Jolrel, for giving me just a free hit on your HP. Whoops. There's a free -1 to you. Unfortunately, this area has that card in play. Waking Nightmare or whatever it's called. I forgot. It's not Living Nightmare. I recognized the card immediately. I just forgot the name of it because of reasons. Recurring Nightmare, I think, actually, is what it's called. Dothy Marauder is a nice card to grab as a starter here. 3 black and 1 colorless is Grave Pact. Yeah, the first card that I thought with that cost was the Fallen, but that would be out of the game at this point. Yeah, Recurring Nightmare. There we go. So, to explain this card, here we go. Sack a creature, return Recurring Nightmare to its owner's hand. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. For 2 and 1 black, this is a very good combo piece to just kind of cycle reanimating certain creatures. And black loves to sacrifice its creatures, and it's pretty alright with reanimation stuff. It's not a good fit for a green location, because they cannot be counted on to have the ability to use it. But aside from that, it's a pretty good card. They would be able to use it in a pinch, you know? If they were forced to lose access to a creature, they'd be able to put that to good use for themselves. So we'll start off by using Cursed Flesh on that thing. And Enfeeblement on the other thing. A bit of a waste of removal, probably, but it's to establish dominance or something. I had to just completely eliminate all of these extremely underpowered creatures to clear the board, so that way I really don't take any damage. Yeah, it does also help that this guy loves to do stuff like that and plays Triangle of War all the time. So keeping the board clear makes that a little bit useless, and then I can't get any of my good creatures removed. Which is like any of my creatures, really. They're all good. Total casting cost of Meditate is 3, if I recall correctly. I think this is like draw 4 cards and skip your next turn or something. Yes! I somehow got that exact. Don't know how that happened, but okay. And here we go. It's time to face the Empress of Beasts herself, Jolrael. And she starts with a charcoal diamond. That's interesting. So she seems to be a little more Golgari-oriented. Now, I believe there is technically sort of a reason on some level. Other than the fact that she just smashed that thing, which is kind of unfortunate for her, but... in lore, if I recall correctly, a big thing... I do recall very specifically that Jolrael was originally aligned with Kervek. And Kervek, of course, is mono black. Since her thing was just like that she wanted to be left alone by all of the other humans because she sort of recognized that humans suck. And they were fucking with her forests and stuff. So she was like, I want no part of this. If you'll help me be... if you'll help me not have to deal with those motherfuckers anymore, absolutely, Kervek. And that didn't go so well for her. But eventually she sort of came back around and was like, okay, yeah, fine. This guy sucks ass. I'll join the other side. I'll join the opposition. And yeah. Again, broad strokes. Because my memory is like, well, quite laughable. But yes, let's see what we've got in here if there's any fun stuff. Oh, right. First thing we can do is it's not an instant, it's a sorcery. Natural order is not there. I mean, fair enough, but it does make me a little bit sad. Savage Twister is... oh, yeah. Right, I was thinking of Desert Twister, and I was like, what is that dude compared to... and it made me forget about a very well-known card. Summer Bloom, that is a fun one. And I guess if we're taking Summer Bloom, then we've also got to go find a Jungle Basin. And lastly... Eladomri, Lord of Leaves would be nice, I guess, if we actually had more elves, but we kind of don't. Our last choice here is going to be a... not that thing. Thicket Basilisk, you know? We'll go with the classic. Of course, we don't have the whole combo here. Did we free Mangara and defeat all tyrants? Is Shamura free? Not yet. Wrath is upon us. We thwarted Volrath's schemes for 672 years. Each life he loses in the final battle will banish him for 10 additional years. Good luck. Ah, yes, they did change the dialogue a little bit from the Arzakon battle. And as you can see, old boy has 200 life for us to chip at. Just as with the previous game, we don't have to actually defeat him. It's just a matter of go for the high score. And he's playing a lot of Seismic Assault trigger, which makes a lot of sense, actually. Again, very flavorful. As I've sort of explained before, Wrath is kind of one of the earliest instances that I can think of offhand of nanomachines in, like, modern fiction. Because Wrath is basically a plane made out of nanomachines. It's created entirely out of a substance called flowstone, which is not literal stone. It's kind of, well, controlled by an AI. Not an AI, sorry, but it's... that's me sticking words together that just seem close, but are not actually... yeah, the point is that basically that stuff's nanomachines for some reason. And the first place that I can think of that has freaking nanomachines in it is a piece of Magic the Gathering lore. And I think there's something kind of funny about that. Also, for some reason, this guy's listed as Drill Sergeant instead of the actual class, which is interesting. Sack a creature. Yeah, he dumps the less useful one, obviously. Now, unfortunately, I would really like to draw more creatures in order to use with Nocturnal Raid, but as you can tell by his Seismic Assault, he has a lot of removal ready for us, so we won't really be able to hold most of our creatures for too long. I basically need to draw more Dothy Slayers, I think. Or more Bad Moon. That would also be quite helpful. Like, watch, he's probably going to draw into a land and immediately blow up our Dothy Ghoul. Oh no, he's doing much worse. But the Ghoul lives as a 3/3, so now it requires 2 shots to kill with... Well, it only requires 1 shot to kill with that, but it did briefly only require 2 shots to be killed with Seismic Assault. Well, I've got that ready in case he ever decides to attack me. Yeah. Not very useful, but at least I can be like, hey, fuck you, buddy. And I will enfeeblement his Wall of Roots just to deprive him of more mana. Although you can see he is playing a lot of other mana sources. And he summons Verdant Force. Ooh, that's a big boy. And unfortunately, I cannot break that. I don't have any, like, direct kill spells. So I cannot just remove his Verdant Force. And even if I had Diabolic Edict, he'd just be able to sacrifice tokens. Oh, he's got a Fireball in hand. Well, that's okay. We're going to die this turn anyway, so I'm just going to go for as much damage as I can. Hooray! We dealt 60 damage to him before we got killed. Life is good, I suppose, for the next 272 years. Well, we did something against Arzakon this time instead of basically just scooping, so hey, credit where it's due. As now we get to look at our record here. And this scroll bar is a pain in the ass, so I'm not even going to try to do it very much. But we have done it, my friends. What the hell am I going to do for the next hour?